Hey y'all, it looks like I'm topless. I swear I'm not. I'm wearing a Gigi's top. So anyway, I had Victoria express some interest in wanting to learn exactly what you're doing when you quilt. So I've got a couple of scraps here that I can show you on. Just let me flip my camera around. So this is just a scrap of a backing from my last quilt, Hermione's. I like to use Minky, but you can pretty much use whatever you'd like. And you also need a scrap of batting, and then whatever you're quilting on. This just happens to be a leftover 4-patch from my Nicola's quilt that I had kicking around and hadn't used yet. So what you'll do is you will layer your batting on top of your backing, and then you will want to take your square and layer that on as well. I'm going to hand my phone over to my daughter, so if it's a little, that would be why. So, Olivia, hold on. What you can use is 505 spray. This is what I use to sandwich all of my quilts. So, yes, you can say hello if you'd like, darling.
Hello.
So, I take it and I spray my backing.
Yes.
It's super sticky and it will make your surface sticky as well.
Just like it did last time.
Yes. So then you lay your batting on top.
Yes, and then you
smooth it out.
Yes.
And then, thank you, Olivia.
You tell them what to do. And make sure it's straight, not like wiggly or bumpy, okay?
And then you spray again.
And then we put the
You'll want to have your quilt top or whatever you're doing pressed, but I just grabbed this out of the pile to show you on, so it's not perfect.
And then we put...
But you smooth it on there, and you, again, like my daughter said, make sure it's straight.
Not wibbly or crazy. Cause I'm like 6 years old.
Hush, Olivia. Then you'll want to head over to your sewing machine. Alexia, come over here, sweetie. Turn it on. Is it unplugged? It was unplugged. It's fine now.
Here.
Thank you, Olivia. Hold on. And you want to get it set up for quilting. So everybody's machine is going to be different, but this presser foot has too much pressure on your quilting. So what you'll want to swap it for is your free motion foot. It'll just look like this usually on most machines. Mine is metal, some are plastic.
Yes.
You will hook it on at the side of the machine.
It's blocking.
I know, hold on. And tighten it on there. Now, on my machine, and again, everybody's are different, you'll want to drop your feed dogs. Some machines at the back will have a button for it. Mine actually just has this fun button for free motioning. I push it and it automatically sets it so that it's got my free motioning foot on there and drops my feed dogs down so that it's not going to be gripping my fabric. So then you always want to start in the center and work your way out. Hold it with 2 hands so that you don't drop my phone, love. You want to make sure you've got a bobbin in there and your thread loaded on. My tension is funky, which is why I'm threading it this way.
That's why.
But normally, I would thread it normally.
I'm like 6 years old. I'm like wearing...
And my needle threader's broken, of course. Too much pressure threading my machine on live video, y'all. I can't.
2 eyes? People are watching you.
Cool.
See?
That's the whole point of a live video, beautiful girl.
Can you put it back? 2 people
Okay.
are watching you.
Okay, Olivia, can you find mommy my tiny ciseaux, s'il vous plaît? Mes ciseaux. Est-ce que tu peux les trouver? Merci, ma petite chouette.
I was making a statue of it.
We don't make statues with mommy's ciseaux.
But once I put it up, I want to...
Okay, Olivia, hush your buttons. So my machine is threaded, it's set up and it's ready to go. You want to focus on not quilting an area that's bigger than your hands. Don't focus on anything outside of that because you'll get distracted. I prefer the crossover method when I quilt. Some people don't. You can stipple, which is when you just move it around and you don't cross your lines over. I think that's too much pressure. My lines always end up crossing over, and then I would rather just not have buggered up a quilt. So I always cross my lines over, but again, it's personal preference. So I just do a couple of stitches to get it locked in place, and then you just take and you don't want to move your machine so quickly that your stitches become large. You can see here that some of my stitches are bigger than others, and that's because I was moving more quickly in some spots, which is totally normal when you first start out. It's a thing that happens. Alexia, will you take that from me again?
Actually,
Don't block up your hands. And then you'll just keep going. If you ever feel like you need a break or you come to the edge of where your hands can control, you just stop and then you keep going. I find it always good to have it so that it stops with your needle down so that you're not losing your place on your fabric. And for the love of all that's holy, don't sew through your finger. I've done that. It hurts like a son of a gun, and it's not something that you'll want to do. Fortunately, I just caught the edge of my finger, and so it didn't hurt as bad as it could have. But I've heard of some ladies having to actually have surgery because of that. When you get to the edge of your area, it's hard because you don't want to have your fingers too close because you don't want to sew through them. But if you're not careful, you'll end up with little hoops like I did there, which it's what makes your quilt unique. It's a totally normal thing. The Amish actually purposefully put a mistake in every single quilt because they say that God is the only perfect one. I say that's the reason that I do it, but it's just because I'm not that good yet.
yeah.
Olivia, honey, say hello to everybody. She's very cranky because she's not holding it, but she's...
Yeah, she's kind of a little cranky.
I want to hold it.
Can you wait, Olivia? I'll let you hold it at the end, okay, my love?
She can hold
So
it
again, because I'm coming up to a side area, I'm wanting to keep my fingers out of the way. Olivia, if I'm going to have to talk over you, you're going to have to leave.
Right now.
Would you like to hold it right now?
Yeah.
Okay, Alexia, trade spots with your sister.
I'm going on my tiptoes, so
Hey, careful. Keep it on what it's supposed to be. Woo! And see, I just broke a needle because I went way too fast and I smoked the edge of my foot. But again, it's not a huge deal if that happens. You just have to cut your thread and go again. Give me 2 seconds and I'll fix that up.
Hi, Olivia.
hello.
6 years
Girls.
old. What?
Joel Bob.
Hello.
Yes.
6 years old. Nick. 6 years
Alexia, don't touch my rotary cutter. That's how you lose a finger. Straight up.
6 years old. 6 years old. I'm 7 years old.
I thought I was all out of 1175 needles, but I am not. I have 2 left after this, thank goodness. Maybe keep it on my sewing machine, please. Yes, darling.
I'm gonna like think that means it's like when I like look inside the thing, it like looks like orange
Where is orange?
on the button.
Oh, yeah. The button is orange because it's not ready to sew. When it's ready to sew, it'll be what color?
There.
Very good.
Where is it orange?
C'est orange ici. Orange et rouge.
Orange et rouge.
Wait, c'est orange et rouge. Okay, so this is actually a good opportunity to show you what happens when you break your needle and wreck stitches. So I've come, can I see this for a second? Back just a little bit from where I've actually broke my needle and wrecked my stitch, just so that you, because there's really no good way to tie it off when that happens. So I just drop my needle in and around that same area, and then I do a couple of stitches again to make myself, and then I just come over top of that line that I was quilting on before, and I continue on like nothing ever happened. And then when I'm at the done and I'm at the end, I just sew off the edge, cut my thread, And then I come over to, oops, sorry, sweetness, my cutting area here. And I take my ruler. Are you on here? Okay, I take my ruler up a little higher and over a little bit, and my rotary cutter, and I just square up my quilt, cutting off the extra backing and batting so that it is totally ready at this point to bind. So here is my finished square, I guess you could call it. I didn't quite quilt to the edge here, and I should have, but you know what, that's okay. So it shows you here, I've got just sort of my end here, which is fine. If you want to hide that, you can start in a darker area. If I had started over on the purple, you wouldn't even really be able to tell. You can also come back over it again to help hide your end. So if you guys are wanting to practice these quilt sandwiches to get your quilting, just make them the size of a placemat. And use, I wouldn't use a super high loft batting. This is just spare batting I had at home. So it's a thicker loft and probably wouldn't be great for a placemat. But use a thinner loft for your placemats, and then you can make yourself a set and you've got practice quilting. So I hope that helped you guys. And if you want to know anything else or want me to go live again, even if my kids are here to interrupt me, because that's what they do with their lives when we work, I will do my best to help you out. Thanks so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.